guys. This is Flippin Live here from Southern California. I am Andrew from 510 Books. 510 Books. This is Flippin Live. We've been going live this is day 44. 44 days in a row during quarantine, talking about reselling. All different types of stuff related to reselling. And today, talk about a variety of things. One of them being reselling books or media in general on eBay, and whether or not you should list items that are going for less than $20, i.e. essentially less profit. So, and I want to talk about a few other things as well. So let's get started.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're gonna strive, we're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, others who are here on the live stream. I have a little chart or a post-it here that I wrote up a few months ago, and it is for selling CDs, DVDs, and basically most media, and the price points. And this is for free shipping. So free shipping for items that weigh under a pound. And I have it from $5.99 all the way up to $19.99, and it shows the profit if the item weighs less than a pound or a pound or less. So media mail, and it's free shipping. So media mail is going to be $2.80 currently. So I go all the way down to $5.99, and my profit is $2.13. A $6.99 item is $3 profit. So all the way up to, let's see, a $9.99 item is $5.59, etc. And a $19.99 item, again, so weighs a pound or less, free shipping, and it's a CD, DVD, book, that type of thing. The profit on $19.99 is $14.24. But, even a $10 item is still $5.59 profit. So it's still a nice profit. So anyway, hi Brenda, good morning. This thought popped into my head yesterday. It popped into my head, I guess, before yesterday, or I was thinking about it before yesterday, but I really started thinking about it more yesterday as I was photographing all of these individual books for sale, because I had photographed a bunch of book lots. I posted a new video, pre-recorded or edited video on my channel. If you haven't seen it, haven't a chance to watch it, definitely check it out. And where I was photographing book lots. And so yesterday I photographed a bunch of books, individual books that I intend on listing on eBay. But as I was going through that process, I was thinking about whether I need to change that strategy for individual items on eBay, from basically listing something for as little as, I try to stay above $6.99, so I at least make $3, or whether I should cut it off at maybe like $14.99, $18.99, $19.99, that kind of thing. Anyway, so I just started thinking about that. So my eBay store, it's free to list. I get up to 1,000 items. I have the premium store. I get up to 1,000 items for free for buy it now. Auctions are 15 cents. Sometimes they will run, what do you call them? Promotions where you get free free auction listings. Like I just had one where I had 200 free auction listings, and now I'm having to pay for auctions. But as of right now, I'm not doing very many auctions because I don't have a bunch of, I don't have gaylords of media, of CDs and DVDs. So I'm not going to be doing too many auctions for now anyway. So for me to, like, I have just under 600. Well, some of those are auctions. I have some CD auctions. I have like 15. But so I have about 575 ish buy it now items on eBay. Um, and so I can go all the way up to 1,000 per month of buy it nows before I have to start paying insertion fees. So I'm not even close to getting to that. Um, so yeah. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just I was thinking about whether it makes sense because I know it makes sense for me to because it's weighing the time versus it's more the time than the profit. Um, just because I see myself getting a lot busier. So for a couple of reasons. Number one, my monthly sales is going to start. I have one this week, and then I'm going to start doing it essentially every 4 weeks or so. I might the one after this one I'm having this week, I might bump that all the way to August, beginning of August, just because I'm going to be getting inundated with books from that big book buy I'm going to make next weekend from the bookstore, the storage unit, and so I'm going to be inundated with books, and I'm going to need some time to at least to get through a good chunk of them before I can have a sale. But just generally speaking, I'm going to be having that sale every month, which when I have the sale consistently every 4 weeks is what I was doing. I've got to try and get some new inventory on the shelves. And the hard part of that is going to be I have extra CDs, so I'm good for that for a while. But I don't have very many DVDs or I don't have any records. So those are things that I have to try and find in between the sales, which is not that time consuming. I just have to look for some deals here and there and see if I can acquire, a few hundred here and there. But that takes time, and then I have to put out more stuff on the shelves, assuming this week that I get a lot of people to show up. And let's see. Yeah, I did not get a response. Sorry, just checking something on a potential advertisement. But yeah, assuming I get a lot of people to show up, or at least a decent amount, and I sell a decent amount, then I have to fill up the shelves again with new inventory. I have to consider whether or not to pull some stuff, books specifically more than anything else, and maybe even some records to create some more space for new stuff. And then on top of that, me getting all of these book donations. Sorry. Well, I will be getting some book donations, but buying those, several thousand books, geez, that are going to be stacked in boxes in what's left of my warehouse space. And so I'm going to be going through all of those and coming across a lot of books that I'm sure will make sense to list on eBay. Amazon's really quick, right? It's fast. But talking about eBay and having to photograph them and then list them on there, is it worth it for me to have 100, $10 to $12 books to list on there, or should I stick to 15 and up, 18 and up, $20 and up? I don't know, because I was considering, well, why don't I just, I can just put those books in my local sale. I won't make as much money if I sell them for $2 or $3 because I'm doing $2 paperback, $3 hardcover. But and who knows who will buy it. But at the same time, it's like, well, is it worth it for me to put so much time into trying to into listing those items? So I guess I was thinking also CDs and DVDs are really fast to photograph and list for me, faster than books, because they're typically only 3 photos, and then when I list them, there's not much. There's just a little bit of different information I have to put in there to list it, and it seems to go a little quicker. Whereas a book I might have to take more photos because it might be the condition might be worse. Typically, like a CD, I can replace the case. The artwork is rarely damaged. DVDs, the same situation where the artwork is rarely damaged, and I can replace the case. And then if the CD is bad, I'm not going to sell it. I can try to resurface it. If that doesn't work, I'm not going to sell it. So it's almost always just 3 photos. But with a book like this one here, it's got this issue here, and I take more photos. I might take photos of the page edges, so it might end up being 6 to 10 photos of a book. And then when I go to list it, it's a little bit more time consuming. Like I say, if it's going for great money, if it's going for $20+, like this one I'm going to list for $19.99, then it's more than worth the effort. But for a $10 book, where I will make $5, but the sheer quantity might not be worth it. It might just be better for me to just throw those in my sale. And also I was thinking, if although that's probably not the greatest stuff, but I was just thinking, like, if I just let some of these go and then resellers come to my sale, most resellers are going to be FBA though. So I doubt there's going to be that many resellers that are going to come and looking for books to flip on eBay, but you never know. But I'm just thinking, like, these valuable books that require, well, they don't necessarily, these ones I have here are without barcodes, but some that require looking up manually over time. If I have some valuable stuff on my shelves in my local sale, then resellers might come back, but I don't know. Yeah, cleaning books can be a pain since we can't just replace part of it. Yeah. Well, I used to have that issue. I mean, when I would go to certain thrift stores and they would put, like, the grease pencil stuff here on the cover, and it by and large I could just get it off pretty easy with Goo Gone, but sometimes it would get into the creases, or if it was on the spine, it would get into the creases. And sometimes I learned the hard way that certain covers you can't. They're more like paper-like versus being slick. Like this one is slick here. And so if this had what do you call it, some grease pencil or something like that, I could use Goo Gone and get it off. But other ones, which I'm not sure if I have one here, but other types of covers don't necessarily, that type of stuff doesn't necessarily come off so easily. And other things like sticker residue, if you have to take off some price stickers. So yeah, so it can be, whereas with a CD or DVD, it's a little quicker. So I just been considering that if I didn't have, if I was on a very small quantity of items to list on eBay, I don't think it's that big a deal. But considering that I'm going to be looking at, a large quantity of books, and more than likely, there's going to be a lot of books that are not that are going to make more sense on eBay. And again, if they're worth, high profit, $20+, of course I'm going to list them on there. I'm going to take the effort and the time to do it, of course. But for a $10 book, of course I do want to make $5 off the $10 book. It's good, it makes sense for me to do it it's profitable. It's a good amount of money, especially if I'm getting them for, a nickel, a dime, a quarter, 50 cents even. We're talking about 10 times, 20 times my money of what I put into it. But when I starts coming to, oh wait, I went through, 10 boxes of books from this buy, and I found 50 books to list, but half of them are $10, $11, $12, and the rest are over $15, $18, $20. So should I do that? And then it brings up the whole idea of, well, if I hired somebody to list on eBay, they could they could plow through that because that's all they would do. Well, I could continue to pull more books for them to list and to sell on Amazon. So anyway, it just brings up that, the whole idea, or the whole scenario of, having, how much time do I want to put into that type of stuff. And FBA, FBA specifically is a whole different animal, because I can have 100 books, 100 CDs, whatever, and if most of them will probably have barcodes, and I can just scan those in quickly. The condition notes are included. I can have those pre-filled out, preloaded, and it's really fast. So if it's only a $3 to $5 profit book, it's okay because it doesn't take me much time. And then I ship it out and it's done. And if Amazon handles it from there, and the sales just come in, they just roll in, and I'm done. But eBay's different, right? Not only do I have to take more time to photograph it and list a book in general, not always, but in general, but then I have to have space to store it, so I have to wait for it to sell, and then I have to ship it. So those are all things to consider. Like I said, if they're more profitable, I have no problem doing that. But I'm just considering this, going forward, something to consider. Hey, Michael, good morning. Yeah. Do things get better with Facebook? So yeah, I forgot to change my card on that I had on file with them, my my bank card, because I got a new one. So I had to just change that, and then they started running again. And I have a donation pickup tomorrow, but that's been the only one since they started running again on, when did they start running? Was it yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday morning. So I did get one contact so far, so that's good. Which makes me think that if they'd have been running over the weekend, that maybe I would have got more. Who knows? So we'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully, I get some more contacts, and I'm I'm excited. It's like a combination of excitement and anxiety. Well, not anxiety, but just I don't know, worry, I guess, about every book donation because I don't know what they're going to be. So it's like, oh, it could be something great. Oh, it could be something not so great. But I'm just thankful that people are donating books to me. So that's good. Brian says, I've seen some with CDs, DVDs, and books. Maybe another option. Oh, yeah. I've looked into, antique malls. I have looked into that. And the great thing about those is if you find a good location is that you can load up your spot, and you really only have to visit it, once a week or something like that, unless you're selling a lot of stuff. But yeah, the great thing about an antique mall type situation is, at least the ones that I found here around where I live, is that you just stock it, and but you do have to put prices on them, and you have to put your booth number or whatever. So you got to have that whole logistical thing worked out. But then, once you have all of them priced out and sitting in your booth, if people buy them, the antique mall will deal with all the money, and they'll take their percentage, 10%, 20%, whatever it is. And then at the end of the month, they'll send you a check or however, for your sales. And all you have to do is just replenish your inventory, make sure that there's new stuff in there. And over time, I'm sure you can build up return customers. So yeah, that's a way to go. I've just decided to have my own sale versus doing that. I'm essentially trying to do that, but in my warehouse and sell a lot more stuff and have a bigger space. But no, I think that's a great idea for someone who doesn't want to do their own actual space, like I'm doing, and have an actual store, warehouse type of situation. But I think that's a great idea, a great option for some trying to monetize a lot of books that they can't sell for profit individually online. And also, in the same vein of whether or not I should sell lower priced books on eBay, I was, as I was photographing and then ended up listing those book lots, I started thinking, you know what? I have some experience like with selling certain book lots on eBay. So sets, right, of books, like the one I just sold yesterday, the what was it called? Wow, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, J.R. Tolkien trilogy. Plus, I threw in some other books. That was from the 70s, 1973 paperbacks. So that type of thing. And I just sold yesterday C.S. Lewis Space Trilogy, which is, he's got the Space Trilogy 3 smaller paperbacks, and it's inside of the original sleeve. I sold that yesterday after some back and forth with the buyer in terms of making me offers, and I accepted one. So, that makes sense. So if it's a set, if it's a series, if it is a certain author that is really popular, and if you get a bunch of their books together and then sell them as a lot of 10 or a dozen or whatever, 15 or 20, that those, depending on the author, can do well. But I've been trying, I listed some based on topic or genre, and I'm not familiar, I don't have experience with that, so it's just me testing out the waters to see what happens. And I was also thinking, well, I don't know, unless it's a really obvious popular genre or niche, these book lots are probably going to sit around for a while until they either don't sell or eventually sell, just because they're not, they're not like a super popular genre. Like one is child therapy, which this woman, that was her career, so she had a bunch of books about that, and I put like 10 of them together, and it's gotten a good amount of views, and it might end up selling. But I just have to weigh, the time it goes in to do that, and the amount of space I have to store this stuff, and whether I'm willing to do that, whether I shouldn't just focus on book sets, book series, books by the same author, but that, not every author should go together. Some just aren't selling that often, but ones that actually do sell pretty often in book lots. Just, what makes most sense for my business going forward. And because I also, like, I started collecting, not collecting, but I organized and sorted a bunch of books that I got from my donations, the book donations I've received over the past month and a half, and I have them stacked up in my warehouse on a table based on genre. Like there's Civil War books, I don't know, there's books about poetry, there's books about diabetic cooking, or cooking for diabetics, just all different types of stuff, presidential biographies, whatever. And I'm thinking that I'm just gonna throw those up on a shelf, on a bookshelf for my local sale and see if anything sells, versus trying to collect enough to put together a book lot. Maybe the Civil War one makes sense. Maybe there's certain ones in there that'll make more sense than others. But books are, always been my issue with books, is they're big, they're bulky, they're heavy, they take up space, versus CDs, DVDs they don't weigh as much, they don't take up as much space. So it's easier for me to have a tub of CDs that I'm still collecting on to complete a series or a set, versus having books. They're just super heavy, much bigger, taking up more space. So it's sort of a different strategy for books, I think, than other types of media. At least that's what my thought is about it. So, as an example, I've got a lot of books here. I've probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. I've probably got 50 books, maybe. Yeah, around there that I photographed yesterday. And so, here's a few. I got a donation from someone who was a friend of, or knew somebody who had a lot of Native American books. So this one, as an example, I was going to list for $12.99, but should I do it? Here's another one, $10.99. Burl Ives Songs. Whoa, wow. I was going to list it for $9.99. Here's another one, $9.99. Leviticus chapters 1 through 14. So these are books that are not going for that much money, and I don't know, whether it's worth it. This one though, I think I would. C.S. Lewis, Screw Tapes Letters. I'm gonna list that one because I know he's a sought after author. You know, people buy his stuff, especially older books of his. Um, Here's a Native American one that I'm going to list for $14.99. It's going to be much less popular, so it's likely it's going to take a little bit more time to sell. Um, this one though, I would list because it's popular, well-known title. List it for $14.99. So this one I would. So two of those I would. This one is, again, this is like a rare, rarely purchased, rarely listed book. It's something about timer projects. I don't really get it. List that for $14.99. Should I do that? Here's one, 1944, the year the Holocaust came to America, for $14.99. I don't know about that one either. And then here are some higher priced ones that I will list. Woodcraft, for those who enjoy good wood done by their own hands. This one I'm going to list for $19.99 because it is going for around that amount. This is another Native American one that is going to be, listed for $24.99, but it's going to be, it's not going to be, it's more rare, I guess is what I should be saying. So it's worth it for me because it potentially goes for more money. Here's another one for $19.99, The Hindu Family in Its Urban Setting. Again, another long tail, but I don't mind because it's potentially going to go for more money. So, just weighing that, and the C.S. Lewis does not have any illustrations. No. And this one's from... This is the 25th printing from 1977. Yeah. So, it does not have any illustrations, though. So, anyway, that's where my thought is. Whoops. My thoughts are about that. For instance, though, I've got some cool older stuff here that I'm going to list. Let's see. This one, not so much. This one, what is this called? Studies of California Indians. And apparently, I have $49.99 listed on here, so apparently it does sell for that. This is a much more rare. It's got some photos in here. Native American tribes, California. But it's a much older book. I think it's from, 1955. I mean, this is one that I'm definitely going to list because it can go for some great money. So there are ones in here that I have that are very valuable. And this one as well is called, this is an old one, Sign Talk, a universal signal code without apparatus. Okay. For use in Army, Navy, camping, hunting, and daily life. This book is from 1918. So check it out. It's kind of messed up on the spine, as you can see. But this is an old book. And actually, this used to be in the library. Actually, I believe the copyright was ripped out because it just goes right to the preface page. But it's a super cool book. I mean, because of how old it is and its hand signals. And this one I'm going to list for $100 because it actually does go for that amount. So I do have some cool older stuff. This one is one that doesn't go for, I'm going to list for $14.99, but it sells quite a lot. A little red book. I believe it's the 12 Steps. Yeah, for AA. So this tiny book, I'll definitely list $14.99. Okay. So anyway, if you guys have other comments about that, feel free. I'm just kind of free flowing here about my thoughts about it. and whether or not I should list every single thing that's going for like a little less money. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember, but I was having issues with AccelerList and listing, and I finally got all that worked out. And so I listed last night 38 CDs. Well, here, and CDs and books. I listed all of these, and then remember I got those books from the little free library. I listed those plus a few more that I got for donations. So those are going to be going off today to UPS, which I'm excited about. The potential profit on these is about, what was it? Like $335-ish. So that's nice. I intended on sending those out, mailing those out like a week ago, but I was having issues with the software, and it turned out it was something silly that didn't even really make sense, but got it worked out. And now I was able to list super fast. So that's what I love about Amazon, is I can list really quick all that stuff, and I'll be able to get it out of my house and get it live and listed on Amazon. No, that's a good idea, Brian. Take them to a bookstore, get some credit. Oh yeah, and then I had a few eBay sales that I wanted to share. So this DVD is called The Bite, and I believe it's Japanese. Yes, Japanese. And it's from the 60s, so it's in black and white. And I believe it was a little bit like controversial type of movie. And I've had it for a long time listed, and I finally just took an offer. I think I had it listed initially for like $40, and then I slowly dropped the price over over quite a long time. And I just took an offer of, I believe, what did I take? $21 plus shipping. So it's a nice sale, even though it took a very long time to sell. Been sitting in the garage for a long time, and it's a unique movie. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but it's more of a rare movie, black and white movie from the 60s from Japan. So you never know. Sometimes things can take a while to sell, but something like that is small and sits on the shelf for a long time, and then eventually sells. It's still a good idea to list that stuff. And here was a sale. This is only $14 sale. I took an offer, but this is a really random type of item, and it's called Influence, Speaking to Win. Present with purpose, power, and passion from this woman, Bernadette Vaduro. And I don't even know, because it's sealed. Check it out, it's still sealed. You can hear it. Things are moving around in there. It doesn't even have a date on there, and it doesn't say. I guess I was able to figure out that it was, I believe, CDs. But this is about developing instant rapport and connect with every audience. Enhance your reputation, increase power, and inspire others. Ignite your career, get more business, and expand influence. So this was probably somebody who did a live show, who had maybe an infomercial or advertised locally, and then had rented out a space in a hotel or at a convention center, and had hundreds of people show up, and then pitched them on buying them her course, and then someone bought it and never opened it. So these are the kind of like random, very unique items that I have found over the years in Gaylords. And I've sold quite a bit of these types of programs that are motivational or business related, or how to make more money doing this, that, and the other. This one just happens to be about how to be a better speaker. Um, let's see. Yeah. Um, yeah, this, yeah. So anyway, so this is the kind of, good morning, Skinny Bones Jones. This is the kind of random stuff that I do like to sell, though, that I've found over the years in Gaylords. Um, have you ever sold those DVDs with extremely thin cases? Yes, I just sold one recently. An older movie, from a classic movie, I guess you could say, from probably, it was like the 40s or 50s. And it was in a thin case, but it was one that was going consistently for like $15 on eBay. So I listed it and it sold pretty quickly. Um, I don't sell that many DVDs in those thin cases. The slimline cases, type of DVD cases, but occasionally I do find some. It's just more rare than anything else. Skinny Jones says, even popular books hardly sell on Amazon anymore. What do you mean by popular? Do you mean like uh, like recent newer books? Um, yeah, I've been selling slimline case DVDs lately. Huh. I mean, I don't know what you mean by popular. If you mean the newer books that have come out, or uh, okay, or what you mean by that. But let me know in the chat. uh, yeah. Anyway, so here's another item I sold, which I thought you guys might be interested in, just to show you the kind of random stuff that I've found. Although now that I'm not getting into Gaylords as much, although I have gotten some random stuff in donations. Those Kodak, what are those called? Carousel slide tray things were totally random. The Civil War cards that I listed are random. So I still, I guess I'm getting some random stuff, but this one here, check it out. So guys, almost anything Disney will sell. Doesn't matter what it is. People are crazy for Disney. Disney has done a very good job to create a brand that people obsess over and collect, and want their kids to obsess over and collect and take part in as well. So check out this. It's a carrying case. It's pretty cool, actually. Carrying case for, well, we've got all these characters on the front, and it's the same thing on the back. And this side is all jacked up. Look at that, it's all cracked and busted. But the good thing about eBay is you can just take photographs of it and tell people. And this is a carrying case for kids who used to listen to audio cassette tapes and then would read the book along with it while they listened. Pretty cool, right? So there's 6 tapes, and then there's more than 6 booklets. There's a bunch in here. Okay. There are a lot, as you can see. We got Tarzan, we got Ariel and the Secret Grotto, Snow White, Wizard of Oz, Beauty and the Beast, Mother Goose Rhymes. So anyway, there's a bunch in here. Dalmatians, Bambi, Peter Pan. And so kids can just pop those in. Apparently some parents still have audio cassette players, so they can pop those in. Or it's an adult who's collecting this for themselves. You'd be surprised. I know of some adults who, as adults, collect Disney stuff. So I'm sure you're familiar with that as well as sellers. Yeah, they might be for nostalgic purposes. So this is the kind of stuff. I mean, it sold for, what did it sell for? Let's see. It sold for $24.99. Did I do free shipping? No, plus shipping. So yeah, $24.99 plus shipping on this one here. This one I've had listed since I believe it was either the very beginning of this year or it was the end of last year. So it hasn't been that long, but it's kind of big, so it takes up some space. So it's always nice to sell that, and then this other one, because combined they're taking up a good amount of space on the shelf there. So that's why I always recommend learning about other types of media so that you can look for that stuff when you're out there in the wild, when you're out there sourcing wherever you may be. South London Reseller says, I think grandparents buy the cassettes and VHS tapes. They might. I mean, I grew up with both of those. I still have which you may have heard me say before, I still have my cassette tape collection. It's not that big of a collection, but I don't know, dozens of cassette tapes that I have back when I was a kid from the 80s. Those were big. I mean, I used to have a Walkman, and that's how I listened to music. I would play a tape over and over again, with my headphones on in the car or whatever. Very independent or freeing, independent feeling to have your own music, similar to iPods. And now, of course, you can just stream through your phone. But I think for nostalgic purposes, and also sometimes some of this stuff is just not available. I don't know about that Disney one, but that one's unique because it's like a carrying case, and it's got the cassettes and the books in there. But sometimes you can only find stuff on certain technology like cassettes or like VHS tapes, or some people just collect, right? They like to have a little bit of different, or they like to have certain programming or whatever it is, music, whatever it could be, on different types of technology. So yeah. So basically, today I will be listing a bunch of books, and all I have left in the warehouse to photograph and list are records. I have maybe, I don't know, 15 or so, and I actually went through those yesterday. Pulled out the lower priced ones, the ones that are going for like less than $18. I had some going from like 12 to $16, and I think I'm just going to put those for sale on my local sale and just price them a little bit higher. Excuse me. Well, and only list the higher priced ones. Also, records are much more time consuming when it comes to photographing and listing. So I think that for that, it really makes much more sense for me to list ones that are going for $20 and up. And also I have a good amount of people who show up to buy records from me at my local sale. So if I put it out at my local sale, there's a good chance someone will buy it. And I'm still growing that. So I'm still trying to get more and more people to come, and it's surprising how many people actually do buy records. Well, it's not that surprising considering how popular it's become, but it's always amazing to me how many people will show up for records. Yeah. So I think I might just do that with those. Oh no, I didn't. I totally forgot yesterday to do that. The Gone with the Wind disc. I'll have to do that when I go back down there. I'm gonna have to go down there to go pick up that Space Trilogy, C.S. Lewis Space Trilogy that I sold. So I'm gonna go look. I gotta remember, look for Gone with the Wind to see if I have it, because I'm sure it'll sell instantly. If I list it on on eBay. I have a feeling that I have it, that I gotta check. I just have a feeling that I saw it and then I did put it out. So I'll make sure and do that, because otherwise someone's gonna buy it for $2, and I won't be able to sell it for whatever it's selling for, What are they selling for right now? Let's see. Although I don't know if I have that one. I'm looking at the ones that are online. I don't know. Wow. So one sold for 22 bucks. Michael asks, do you find that setting up weekly sourcing FBA shipping goals helps you from getting lazy? Yeah, I used to do that when I would go out sourcing to stores, thrift stores and garage sales. I would try to do like 100 a week or something like that. That would help me for sure. If I was in a thrift store and I was getting tired and I felt like, oh, I don't know if I can push through, I would, say no. I have to get 10 more. I have to find 10 more books or whatever. I think it's definitely helpful. Excuse me. Wow. Ah. Um. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. I know some people have done challenges where they say, I got to hit my goal of 100 items listed and shipped into Amazon FBA every week, which ends up being about 400 a month, which is a great clip to be at, and just try to hit that. I think that's a good idea. Now though, because I'm pivoting, I guess you could say, kind of an annoying word, but pivoting to trying to rely on donations, that I'm not going out there to the thrift stores and that type of thing whenever I want, and just as long as I need to find what I need to find. I'm relying more on the donations and this big buy that I'm going to make in a couple of weeks. But hey, huh? Okay, come here. Come in. So yeah, so I'm not able to control that as much. Come on. Say hi.
Hi.
So yeah, I'm not able to, have the control over when I get donations or that type of thing. I mean, that's my thing, is like, I want this to snowball my sale, which I just barely got going before quarantine. I barely, I only had 5 sales, which is not much. I think I need to get like a year under my belt of consistent sales and trying to build that momentum of people knowing about it. And also, my first sale was in November. This is different. I'm kind of getting off topic here, but in the same vein of trying to, get a lot of people donating to me or trading in or whatever it may be, is I started in November, which is not, that's the colder part of the time of the year. So I have never had sales during this time, during the summer, during the warmer months, during the time when people are, more likely to go to things like my sale. So anyway, we'll see going forward how that goes. I find lately that shipping goals are perfect, as I can thrift if I find that the donations aren't yielding enough. Yeah, I'm sure donations are going to fluctuate. I'm still testing it out, especially now with the thrift stores being open. I will see what happens. What what happens with that going forward, and if I actually get a decent amount of donations. I have no idea how many books I'm picking up tomorrow for the donation. I'm hoping it's a good amount. I always forget to ask, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, the last one I got last Friday was only a bag, but 4 of them were I'm going to send into Amazon. So you never know. Brenda, any little girl or Disney collector would love to get her hands on that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's, unfortunately the side of it was cracked all the way down, but aside from that, it's aside from that, it's all, all the tapes are in there and the books and you can still carry it around, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. Back in when it came out, it was probably a hot toy, that popular toy that kids would love to have. You know, they could carry it around the house and plop in their cassette tapes and listen to the stories. Diego, no, 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 I guess they could, listen to listen to the tapes and read the books and that type of thing, and play with their friends with it or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely a unique item. That's why I like selling that stuff. It's pretty fun to sell and see what was out there before. So yeah. So if you guys have other comments, let me know. We're gonna end in a few minutes. This might be a little random, but I saw this on a Facebook group where they were talking about some sort of scam that someone's trying to pull with books, and they said it's called the Mara Fish Scammer. Has resurfaced with the new setup. Shows up as contact name Eugene, and apparently ships to the name of Robert Moore, M-O-R. Apparently, they're drop shippers, resellers. They buy your very good book and try to palm it off as new. If it comes truly very good, they will return it. Okay. Worse, they buy your like new or very good book and return a beat up piece of junk and keep yours to sell. Thoughts are that they do bulk and take the beat up stuff and screw us over. Anyway, so look out for that. If the contact name is Eugene and they're shipped to Robert Moore, something called the Mara Vish Scammer. I don't know. I just saw that on Facebook page. I thought maybe you guys might want to know about that. So Michael says, a good way to weed out the horrible ones for donations is to tell them, we do not accept encyclopedias, dictionaries, or magazines. This has saved me from a lot of junk. Yeah, one woman did ask me if we accepted everything, and I said, well, most of everything except, I forgot what I said. But anyway, she said, do you accept encyclopedias sets? And I said, no. No, I don't. And she ended up not donating to me. I guess she had some encyclopedia sets she was going to try to dump off to me. I believe there are some encyclopedia sets that you can sell on eBay, but that just seems like that's hit or miss, and it's unlikely that you would get a donation of, I don't know, of encyclopedias that would be worth money. So yeah, I try to avoid magazines. I try to avoid encyclopedias, dictionaries. But I pretty much say, you can donate what people can donate what they want for the most part. All right, guys. So we're gonna end the stream. I appreciate you guys showing up.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're gonna strive. We're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're flippin' live.
All right, guys, thanks for showing up today for the live stream. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. I hope you guys have a great, Tuesday. And you're able to find some good stuff, list some good stuff, make some sales. And I will see you tomorrow. So as always, guys, keep booking and keep safe. Thank you. And have a great day.